Have you ever wondered what it would be like to possess superhuman strength? Imagine being able to rip a lion apart with your bare hands or single-handedly defeat an entire army. But what if that strength wasn't truly yours? It came with a condition tied to faith and obedience. This is the story of Samson, a man of extraordinary strength and an even more extraordinary lesson about faith. Samson's story begins long before he was born. His parents, unable to have children, were visited by an angel with a divine message. They would have a son who would deliver Israel from their oppressors, the Philistines. But Samson was to live under a special vow, the Nazirite vow dedicated to God. He was never to cut his hair, drink wine, or touch anything unclean. His strength would come from God's blessing, not his own power. As Samson grew, it became clear that his strength was extraordinary, a gift from God. But Samson's story reminds us that with great power comes even greater responsibility. One day, while traveling to Timnah to meet a Philistine woman, Samson encountered a lion. Without a weapon, Samson tore the lion apart with his bare hands. His strength was unmatched, but here's the catch. Samson didn't stop to thank God. He began to believe in his own power, setting him on a path of pride and self-reliance. Years later, Samson's strength and victories became legendary. But his personal choices often strayed from God's purpose. Then came Delilah, a woman who would become both his greatest weakness and his undoing. Delilah was offered a great reward by the Philistines to discover the secret of Samson's strength. She pressed him day after day, questioning his love for her. As Samson slept, Delilah called the Philistines, who cut his hair, bound him, and took him captive. God's power had left him. Blinded and enslaved, Samson's pride had cost him everything. Yet even in his suffering, he realized that his strength was never his own. It was God's gift. In humility, Samson turned back to God. Brought to a Philistine temple to be mocked, Samson prayed, "O Lord, remember me. Strengthen me one more time, so I may defeat your enemies." With renewed strength from God, Samson pushed against the pillars, collapsing the temple and defeating the Philistines in his final act of faith. Samson's story teaches us a powerful truth. Our greatest strength doesn't come from within, it comes from God. No matter how far we stray, it's never too late to turn back to Him. Samson's redemption reminds us that God can still use us to fulfill His purpose. Which part of Samson's story spoke to you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If this story inspired you, please like, subscribe, and join us for more stories of faith here on Faithful Truths.